Hi guys, welcome back. This is Lily at Aspiring NP. I've been absent for the last few months, mostly due to personal reasons and job injury. I'm also pregnant with my second child and juggling a lot of stuff right now. But anyway, so I'm glad that I'm back at it, and I hope that I can continue contributing to whatever questions you guys have and be of some service to the Aspiring NP community. There was a comment that I wanted to answer. One specific particular person wanted to know if there was a way to go through NP school without accruing a lot of debts. What were the options? Did they offer scholarships, etc.? There are some NP schools that do offer merit scholarships, but you'll find that in graduate level, usually, unless you're pursuing a PhD, which in that case you'll have a stipend and your tuition may be paid for, but then again, the entry level process is a lot more strenuous, and you have a lot less people that make it from those that apply. But as a master's, and now a doctorate level nurse practitioner at school, you probably will find that you have to apply for loans, which is what I did back in 2010, and or find other ways to pay for it yourself. So if you are not in a rush and you're kind of planning ahead, there are some ways that you can reduce your cost, and I'll explain them in a minute. One of these ways are if you are a veteran yourself, or if you have somebody that is in the VA and an immediate family member, there are usual tuition reimbursement programs that you can apply for. I know because there was a student that went to school with me, and she had most of her tuition paid for because her husband also was a veteran or was in active service. um, anyway, I think it's constantly changing, but as of a few years ago, this was still the deal. There are other options such as the National Health Service Corps, which, on top of, if you prefer going to work at an underserved area after you graduate, they can help repay your student debt. But if you plan ahead and you already know that you're going to be a student nurse practitioner ahead of time, you could probably get the student graduate scholarship instead of the loan repayment program. So these are usually things that you have to do ahead of time because they only open for like a few weeks a year, and a ton of people apply, and you kind of have to be at the beginning of your journey as a nurse practitioner student. You already have to have an acceptance letter. The whole process is pretty well outlined on their website, a National Health Service Corps, that gov, I believe is NHSH or NHSC, I should say, that gov. I have posted a few things of which I'm talking about on the blog that I'll link below. So that's one way of going about it. Now that's at the federal level, which also, if you are in the Peace Corps, they do repay some of your loans. If you work for what is it called? If you work for a public service like nonprofit organizations, after 10 years, supposedly, I think the first person that got it paid was in 2014. So I'm pretty sure they're getting it paid. You can get some loan repayment or loan forgiveness after 10 years of working at a public service area. Or you can opt, depending on which state you live. Some states do provide loan repayment and sometimes scholarships for nurses who are trying to advance their degree. Sometimes they are mostly doing this for particular areas, like if you're going to become a teacher, if you're trying to become a nurse, not a nurse practitioner, but I should say a teaching assistant, or a teacher at a graduate level or associate level school of nursing, then they'll help you with your student debt. Other than that, most of us, by the time we get into working as nurse practitioners, or by the time we get into applying for an NP school, we usually have a job. and most of these jobs have some sort of tuition reimbursement. So I highly suggest that you find out what your job's tuition reimbursement policy is. Usually it's like $2,500 a year or something like that, but every little bit helps. That and a good payment plan, at least in the first year of your NP program, it could save you a lot of money in the long run. I did manage to work full time during my first year of NP school, but I did have to quit during my second year of NP school and only work per diem and then not at all during my 700 hours or so of clinicals. So it depends where you are, what your situation is, and what your resources are. But I highly suggest that you think outside of the box and find out what it is that makes you unique. If you're a man in the field, if you're a woman in the field, if you're a woman of color in the field, if you're a particular ethnicity, nationality, there are a lot of places that do offer help and assistance for graduate students, like private organizations that rather give out the money than pay it in taxes. So, you can go to the Hispanic caucuses, you can try to find out, if the Lions Club is in your area and offers any scholarships. You can apply through, let's say, like the American Nurses Association, the ANA, or the AANP. Sometimes they offer scholarships as well to help students to advance in their career if you already belong to one of these associations. It's going to have to do a little research, do a little bit of Googling, find out what's offered in your state, and also find out if a particular path might make more sense for you. Let's say now mental health is highly sought out after. You'll end up having tons of job offers and higher pay because the demand is there and the supply isn't. So for those particular career paths, you might end up using it or choosing it more wisely than, let's say, if you started your nurse practitioner program without selecting which track you were going to do, or change track halfway throughout. So anyway, just think it through, plan ahead, do your budget, see if you can somehow plan ahead and afford it on your own, or with lots of family support, or with support from community resources like the ones I just described. All right, guys, that's all for today. It's been great being back, and I hope I'll see you soon again.